Watashi wa betugeru manai konti desu. I always wanted to do that. Sup everyone, I'm your female otaku and I'm here to review episode 24 of Re:Zero. And that is how you do a power of friendship episode. That is how you do it. That was perfect how they ended this episode from beginning to end. It was totally epic. Subaru, normally whenever he returns by death and stuff and, you know, has to repeat what has just happened, which this time the save point was when they just defeated the white whale and Julius already entered the scene. So they're making their plans to how to defeat the witch's cult. And normally what happens with Subaru when he resets is it takes him at least two more tries to fix everything after he returns by death. But this time, for once, it seems that he won and fixed everything on the second try. Or first try, depending on how you see it. Subaru carefully thought out every bit of what he had to do and carried it out well. His plan was executed so perfectly and I'm so proud of Subaru! He did this all in one go! That's awesome! That's great! Oh my gosh, I cannot believe this! And Amelia, in the end, I'm so happy this was done too, is that, because remember before, Amelia was able to prove herself to everyone that she is on their side, but now that has been erased. And this time, Subaru was still able to get her, or at least to open her eyes that yes, people do trust her. Sure, it's not in the exact same way as having the entire town be on her side, but still Amelia's eyes are open that yes, people do trust her. And that was just really sweet to see. Oh yeah, I forgot. Let me clear something up. Last week, I wasn't too sure on how Subaru was possessed by Betelgeuse, because I assumed that you had to have the qualities of sloth, just like the fingers, they each had the qualities of a sloth so much that they could become an archbishop. I assumed the same thing would be for Subaru, but that does not seem to be the case, because now I believe that Betelgeuse is a spirit, since it was made clear that Subaru has an affinity to spirits. So this leaves us with another question. What is going to happen next week? Because we are supposed to assume that Julius just killed Betelgeuse. But as we know, you can't exactly really kill Betelgeuse, especially since, you know, he does body possessions, which again, it kind of shows more that Betelgeuse is more of a spirit and never really had a vessel to begin with. And so once Betelgeuse is slain, then will Betelgeuse still possess Subaru's body? Not because Subaru possesses the qualities of sloth, because he does not, but because Subaru has a high affinity to spirits. Possibly not, since Subaru connected himself with Julius. Yaoi fangirls, stop, it's not what you think, okay? Right now, Subaru and Julius are linked with each other, and since Julius is a spiritual arts user, Julius might be able to kick Betelgeuse out of Subaru's body. I'm not too sure, but that's the only thing I can think of, so that we can not only, you know, save the day, but, you know, save Subaru as well, because we don't want what happened last week. Now this is really interesting, because we find out when Subaru was having his new approach to Betelgeuse, this time being all like, hey, I want to be a part of the cult! Oh man, just this time Subaru's approach was amazing. Oh my gosh, they get better and better every single time when he approaches Betelgeuse, because Betelgeuse, he's just like, really? Oh my gosh, this is amazing! The whole scene was great. And then Betelgeuse was still punishing himself because that's the only way he can express himself. So it's so odd, but I love that entire scene. But then Betelgeuse hugs Subaru and talks about Amelia. He said that they can use Amelia as a vessel for the Jealous Witch. Now if you remember, or at least you should know, the Jealous Witch is not dead, she is sealed away. So the witch's cult wants to bring her back to possess Amelia's body. Now, again, if you remember, my review last week, I mentioned my theory that I believe that Amelia's body has to be connected with you know, the jealous witch in some way, especially when it seemed to me that Amelia could see the unseen hands. But anyway, that's a whole different story. The thing is that I believe that Amelia's body has been created to be the vessel for the jealous witch. We don't know anything about Amelia's parents, except of course, you know, that the half-elf and stuff like that. But could it be that she was not exactly born, but actually formed? Perhaps Betelgeuse and the rest of the witch's cult have been waiting for this day for a very long time, a time when Amelia's body has been fully matured and is able to contain the jealous witch herself. Not too sure, but you know, all these theories is all very interesting. And it shows you that Amelia she can't get a break, man. Another small interesting thing that I noticed, Puck said that Betty could not leave because she's contracted to stay in the mansion. She's not allowed to leave the mansion, but I'm just all like, no, that's not true. We've seen her leave the mansion once before. That was in episode 7 when she made a contract with Subaru, and then Subaru was right there at the cliff, and Betty was there at the cliff with Subaru when he went to go jump off the cliff. You guys remember that, right? Episode 7, right? So I'm guessing that was a mistranslation? I don't know, I just thought I should mention this because that really stood out to me, because Betty is still a very interesting character that we know very little about, because there's so much to her that we do not know. But there's only 2 episodes left, I believe, so I don't think we're ever gonna know. Very interesting parts of the plan is that they decided to kill off all the fingers first and then kill Betelgeuse. And the fingers were actually contacting each other through a media. This is the first time that we got to see an actual media, so that was pretty cool. Fantastic episode once again, and I suppose we just gotta watch out for next week to see who Betelgeuse possesses next, because even though Betelgeuse is not gonna, may or may not be able to possess Subaru's body, since you know Subaru is currently linked with Julius, then Betelgeuse will probably find a different vessel, but what vessel is that going to be? And that's all for this review, so let me know your theories on this episode. And oh my gosh, guys, yeah, only 2 more episodes left. Season 2 when? Catch you tomorrow as I review The Promised Neverland, and Natsuno Taizai live react to Mob Psycho 100, and review Danganronpa 3 Miraihen. I'm your female otaku, sayonara. Shuko, 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 shuko!